Hey everybody, I'm Videobob, and viewers of my channel have seen some of our movie cars, and you've probably seen this car sitting in the background here in the parking lot or off in the shop. For over 10 years now, I've had this car since 2009, and people have asked me, well, what is this thing? What's it all about? What is it? Well, it's the Knight 4000. Sorry Doug, this is actually a 1990 Dodge Stealth. Let me tell you the story about this thing. Quite appropriately, it's parked next to our RoboCop police car, because this car was in effect a police car. It was for the foundation of law and government. This is the Knight Industries 4000. See, in 1991, they made a follow-up movie to the Knight Rider TV show called Knight Rider 2000. It was filmed in San Antonio, Texas. It starred David Hasselhoff, and it starred this as the new replacement for the kit car. Now, I don't want to spoil the movie if you haven't watched it, but basically this was supposed to be the replacement of KITT, but they weren't happy with it. They drug the original KITT with William Daniels out of retirement, and, well, they merged them together. But anyway, let's talk about the actual car. There were two of these built out of Dodge Stealth, which is the Mitsubishi 3000 GT and also the Dodge Stealth 1990 versions, built by a guy named Jay Orberg. He used to work with George Barris and some other car people. He had done some amazing things. He's known for building the longest limo in the world and a lot of other cool cars. If you've ever been to the Volo Museum in Illinois, you've seen a bunch of his stuff. Anyway, he's told me that I think the movie company had paid him something like $300,000 to build these two cars, plus a boat car, plus a half car. Again, spoilers. In the movie, the car jumps into the San Antonio Riverwalk, becomes a boat, and then runs through the river. They had a half car, process car, cut in half with the dash in there for those scenes as well. So basically, he based the body of this car off of the concept vehicle, the Pontiac Banshee. The Pontiac Banshee was a concept vehicle that Pontiac had done that, well, when you see the 93 and later fourth generation Pontiac Firebirds and Trans Ams, they were based off of the Banshee. Now, John DeLorean, who created the DeLorean car, when he worked at Pontiac, he really invented the muscle car, and he invented the Firebird, and he wanted to call it the Banshee originally, but they didn't want to call it that. They ended up calling it the Firebird. Big long story there, but anyway, this was based off the concept of the Banshee, and it was so much so that Pontiac made Jay change a little bit so it wasn't too much like the original car. Anyway, he built these two cars. They were used in the film, and after that, they just kind of floated around Hollywood. Like, they were passed around to every B-movie sci-fi thing like a joint at a party. Well, if you're wondering why this thing is a bunch of different colors, well, when it was in Knight Rider 2000, it was red and glossy red and had cool chrome wheels. But then it got passed around into some other TV shows. The Chips reunion, remember Ponch and John ride the motorcycles, Chips? They did a remake, a reunion movie in 1999 called Chips 99, and this car was one of the focus of that movie where, it was a concept vehicle, got stolen. So it appeared in that, appeared in a couple of other TV shows, like a show on Sci-Fi called Black Scorpion, episode called Life's a Gas, Lucia driving the car in that scene. Also appeared in the Power Rangers Time Force series. Now by this time, they had painted the cars to be black and white police cars and put vector police lights on them and their logos on the door. Appeared in 2 episodes of Power Rangers. Finally, this particular car, mine, was used in a sci-fi show called Scare Tactics. So in Scare Tactics, they crash it through a wall, whatever. So the two cars finally get sold at auction from Cinema Vehicle Services in LA, I think about 2004. And the guy that had this car ended up selling it on eBay for 20-something thousand bucks in 2009. And a customer of mine bought it and had it shipped to me November 2009, and it has been sitting here ever since. Now, long story short, the guy put money up on the thing. He basically ran out of money, defaulted on the thing, and abandoned the project and just defaulted on the car and gave it to me. Well, since I didn't really have the paperwork for this car, I didn't really want to put any time and money and effort into it, and I didn't have a customer who wanted me to work on the car, and quite frankly, we've been slammed here at Bob's Prop Shop. Since we've been here over the last 10 years, we've done like 50-something cars. I mean, we've done like 32 DeLorean time machines, done like 6 or 7 Bluesmobiles, and half a dozen Night Riders, and a couple A-Team vans, a couple Ectos. We've been busy. We've done a lot of cars. We had our own television show. We did some movies. We did all kinds of things, and we were just busy, and this car just sat here. And I never even thought to ever mess with this car. We had been told the motor was bad and that it was blown and that it was trashed after the Scare Tactics show. And it occurred to me the other day that I've never put a battery on this car. I've never tried to start this car. I've never tried to do anything to this car other than I've had a few guys sand on it a little bit. But I was just thinking, we should hook up the car and see what happens. You notice there's some damage on the front of the car. That happened when it was shipped to the guy that previously got it. You know, I've talked about these shippers before and how bad they are, and they rip part of the nose off. We're gonna have to repair that. The hood is just held on with screws. We've already removed those. And here, help me get the hood off, you guys. You pretty much, it's such a tight squeeze, you just gotta get a knife up under there and grab it. There we go. Just put it on top of RoboCop over there. All right, let's have a look in here. All right, so we have a Mitsubishi 3000 motor, as Cole pointed out. Same motor they put in the minivans and the Dodge Chrysler minivans. Yeah. So they're just importing those off of the Mitsubishi. And this battery is about 15 years old. It's not going to hold a charge, but we can access the battery, the power here. This jump starter is the one I use for my bus. It'll start a bus. So I'm sure it'll turn over this little stealth. Okay. Not getting any battery voltage. It's dead. So this thing's putting out 13 volts. I guess, let's check the oil. Yeah, it's got oil. Doesn't look too bad, actually. And I think we looked at it already. We checked the coolant, right? It's got coolant. Wow, it's got a little pressure on it. That's odd. Smells okay. It's orange coolant. All right. I say we just turn it over and see if the motor spins. See if anything else in the car like works. Can you see me on the screen over there, James? Yeah. Oh, it stinks in here. Let's see if any accessories work when I turn on the... Oh wow, the window goes down, auto down. I hope it goes back up. It does. Wow. Okay, let's turn it over. Whoa, it turns. Anything weird going on? Let me turn it.
You're all spinning here.
Wow. Starter works good. Let's try putting some starter fluid in the intake and see what happens. I swear I'm gonna poop a brick if this thing starts. You ready?
Yeah.
Holy crap, it started! Did you...
It sparked, man.
Wow. Do that again. Wow. This thing hasn't started in over 10 years. Wow, it's firing up, but it's clanking something terrible. There's no oil in the top of the cylinders. I'm sure these mechanic friends are watching this going, you're an idiot. Literally, this thing hasn't run in 15 years probably. Wow. It sounds a little rough. Wow. The tappity tap. EJ came running over here with a fire extinguisher. I don't think we want to run it any more than that. It spins. That it do. Wow.
That's crazy.
I can't believe it. Ugh. I can't believe it's not butter.
Right.
This thing, it has plexiglass windows for stunt driving. We'll get into that later. It was definitely clinking and clanging. Valves are spinning, so it's got a timing belt.
Yeah, it's probably just the...
Well, here's the timing belt right here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hydraulic lifters still need to oil up, and yeah, they're probably all just stuck.
Well, hey, listen, some of my mechanic friends watching, post in the comments what you think we should do with this motor after it's been sitting for over 10 years. I'm thinking that we'll run some mystery oil and maybe some seafoam through the crankcase. And we're gonna obviously have to get fuel to this thing. Wait, what's the deal with the fuel? Like, does it have, I wonder if it's got any gas in it, you know, or if the fuel pump even works.
Well, it's definitely not right now.
Yeah, let's check that out, see what's up with that. Just like on a Dodge Stealth, you would have a little pull tab down here that opens the hatch. Okay. All right, I see what we're working with. There's a panel. There's a panel where we can access the fuel pump. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that out and have a look and see what's doing. So this is the fuel pump that came out of the car. Unfortunately, it had a full tank of fuel. And yeah, it's bad. Yeah, no bueno. So we got to order this whole part and see what happens. We're using that handy little transfer pump that I did a video about a long time ago to drain this Tang orange juice out of this tank. We put, what, 4 or 5 gallons of fresh fuel in here. That was a mistake before pulling this. I had foolishly assumed it was going to be empty. It is not. Wow. Well, we're gonna have to order parts, rebuild the fuel pump, fuel lines. At least we know now that it will start. I haven't touched this car in 10 years or more. It's been here since November 2009. Never even thought to try to start the car. But now I'm all excited about the thing. I've learned so much about it, and I'm hoping that you're going to explore all of this with me in the video series of restoring this car. Now you can see that there's just this dash plug. There was never an actual dash in the car. They basically made the working dash in the half car that was a process car that was used in the studio. They covered up the original steering wheel with this thing here. I don't think it was wrapped up like this, but we've discovered the differences between the two cars. For one thing, my car has these cloth kind of tweed checkered seats The other car had vinyl seats. This car has clear windows so that you could see the actors inside. The other car had tinted windows because it was sort of a stunt car and they didn't want you to see the lookalikes that were driving the car. The other car also had a mechanism in the back seat so that a driver could sit in the back seat and drive the car so it looked like the car was driving itself. So those were some of the differences in the car. We're going to restore it back to its former glory. It probably doesn't have 100 miles on the car from the time it was new because they didn't do a lot of driving with the thing. They only did a few scenes with the car here and there. But what I've done is I've put together a Facebook group for fans of this car and former owners and people that restore cars. Some of the greatest car builders and restoration guys in the world are a member of this group. So if you are interested in this kind of thing, there's a link in the video description below, or you can just go onto Facebook and search for the Knight Rider 2000 Knight Industries 4000 restoration page, and also known as KIFT, K-I-F-T, KIFT. So we put together this group. Feel free to join and you can watch along. Please subscribe and follow along. And if you know anything about the Dodge Stealth, Mitsubishi 3000 GT, or maybe you know something about any of the movies or TV shows that this thing appeared in, maybe you know of another show that it appeared in, please post it in the comments, or even better, go to our Facebook page and tag it below. I've been finding this thing all over Hollywood. It was just passed around. I saw a clip of it in the Time Cop TV series, Power Rangers, Chips 99, Black Scorpion, and someone told me that they might have seen it at the end of Mystery Men. I got to check that out. But, you know, Cinema Vehicle Services rented this car. They wanted to get as much money out of it as they could. So I want to give it new life again. I want to restore the car and get some use out of this e-brake, because you'll notice that every show that it's in, they use this e-brake like crazy. They're doing e-slides. I'm going to need new tires, which is a problem because there are wheel locks on the wheels and we don't know how we're going to get them off. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing and commenting. And I'll see you on the next video. We'll be following up on this as soon as we get the parts in. Catch you later. I'm Videobob.